Okay, part 7. So this is a Thursday when I talked to the doctor. And Friday, getting sicker and sicker as like the minutes go by. And have you ever been so sick where you maybe not thinking right in your head? Like in my head, I'm like, I am just so sick. Like I can't even believe how sick I am. But I'm like, I talked to the doctor. He knows he didn't tell me to go to the emergency room. So I am just laying in bed dying. And finally, it becomes Saturday night. Luckily, my youngest had slept out and it's about midnight. And I start to have the shakes. Now, I'm not having a seizure, but my body is shaking and it won't stop. And I am so cold. And then I'm so hot. And at that point, the thought of even trying to get out of my bed, even if my boyfriend could have carried me down the stairs and done the 5-minute ride to the hospital, I couldn't do it. I woke him up and said, "You need to call an ambulance." And he looked at me because I hate ambulances. I hate emergency rooms. He's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Really? You need to call an ambulance." And he did. And I live on like this really small dead end street, but luckily they didn't have the sirens going. But, every single one of my neighbors saw all the red lights. And, they come upstairs and like, I'm not having a seizure, but my body is shaking uncontrollably. And it was my body really screaming at me, like, "You need help now." So, thank God for them. Like the worst part was like having to actually like get out of my bed because I'm like, "Can I take my comforter with me?" They're like, "You probably don't want to bring that to the emergency room." I'm like, "Yeah, you're probably right." And, the good thing is when you go in an ambulance, typically in the emergency room, if you are transported by ambulance, you're going to trump everybody else. And thank God I did, because when I get to the hospital and through blood work and there's other indicators of sepsis, which I've learned a lot about, they tell me I have become septic now. And even still in my weird fuzzy brain, I'm like, so does that mean I don't, am I going to get to go home? They're like, "No, you are very, very sick. You need to be admitted." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And they have to identify what's causing the sepsis. Like there's a lot of unknowns at this point. All that's known is obviously I got raging infections going through my body. And they started a course of antibiotics and all that fun stuff. And this is where time gets kind of weird for me because I'm so in and out of it. But I get transferred to another hospital that's local. And at first, I'm just on a floor called telemetry, which is usually for people with heart conditions because my heart was doing some funny things. And I felt like I was on this floor for a minute, but I guess I was there for like a day. Stay tuned.